Well, welcome again, everyone. It's me, Nick Michalak, and the stellar Steve Frazier.
Thank you. Hello.
And, something stellar. From a stellar filmmaker, maybe not so much of a stellar film, but it's John Carpenter's Village of the Damned today for our new commentary.
Yeah. We're continuing the John Carpenter legacy.
We've done a few, and thought this would be an interesting one to kind of deconstruct. So it's
very 90s.
It's very 90s. It's a lot to talk about. So, guys, if you have your own copy of the film, you can get your timestamp over to 0 and turn on your subtitles to follow along with everything in the film. So we'll get going with a countdown. So in 3, 2, 1, play.
I don't even know how many JC films we've done at this point.
Well, we Assault, Halloween, Fog, Thing.
Christine.
Yeah, Christine.
So that's 5. This makes number 6.
Yes.
Lucky number 6. Yeah. All right, that's a respectable playlist. Yeah. All of those are available in the archives now.
Yes.
Head back and obviously Halloween's the best, but
sure.
It'd be interesting to see everyone's ranking of these 6.
Yeah, this is one though. All the stuff in the 90s for Carpenter was like just being hired to do something.
Right.
Because
your boy there, Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You'll notice he doesn't have any screenwriting credits on most of the stuff he did in the 90s. Maybe Escape from L.A., but we don't want to discuss that. But it's one of those things like... It's also the weird things like, okay, he got fed up with the studio system when he did Big Trouble in Little China because they kind of fucked him over in various ways, and he wasn't happy with them. So he started doing Prince of Darkness, and They Live Independently, but then he gets roped back into studio stuff with Universal. And they go back to being Hollywood studio mongers and stuff like that. And
he had just come off of In the Mouth of Madness, is that correct?
Yeah, and before that was Memoirs with Chevy Chase, who no one gets along with.
Sure. I can't stand Chevy Chase, by the way.
That's good enough.
Karen Kahn, all right. What was I going to say? I don't even know. Karen Kahn threw me off. Thomas Dekker is our lead boy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he's the one that was the most famous out of them.
Who? What?
Thomas Dekker. Like,
he becomes that, yeah.
I'm saying, like, it's interesting that none of the kids actually become, like,
known,
famous actors.
Yeah.
Dekker went on to do some other things, music and movie,
Yeah, he would end up being John Connor in the Terminator TV series with Lena Headey.
There you go.
Which was the best thing since T2, which doesn't typically say much, but it's way better than what that implication conveys.
Right. Well, we know it's the 90s because it's a floral bedspread.
Yeah.
He's got his tighty whities on, as everyone in the 90s did. Interesting that the special effects supervisor got a shout-out, but my boy Greg Nicotero did not.
Yeah, it was weird. He's on the film, but it was weird. I was looking through IMDb. I couldn't find anything for no one put Canby's credits on the thing, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, I know he worked on this.
Unless they just put under company credits.
But then again, he was doing everything.
Oh yeah,
this era.
But he worked on Mouth of Madness. I think they worked on Body Bags with him too. So
probably. I love
so.
Body
I'm
Bags.
pretty sure Carpenter mentioned that, or Nicotero did.
Body Bags is so much fun. I think, on Body Bags, Carpenter only did the one of the 3 shorts, right? He didn't do all of it?
Toby Hooper directed one of them. I think he directed 2 of them.
Oh, okay. Couldn't remember what the ratio was.
Yeah.
Maybe John Carpenter, was the executive producer, it presents Body Bags or something.
Yeah,
his name's on it.
Well, because the idea was that was going to be Showtime's answer to Tales from the Crypt.
Right.
But then he said, Not so hot doing it serious. We'll just do it as like a one-off TV movie deal.
Right, right. Nicotero did go on to work on Creepshow. He did the original movie with Savini. It was like his break into the business.
Okay.
And then, because he was like a hanger around, and he
it wasn't until about 87 they all came together for K&B.
Right, right. But Nicotero, pronouns pal, is responsible, I guess, for the Creepshow TV show that happened in the last few years.
He's big on the creative end of that.
Does she mean what I think she means? Ugh, I don't know which bedspread is worse.
The stripes or the floral? Yeah.
Probably the floral. I don't know. Floral is just so specific. Do you know where they shot this? It was up in Northern California, right?
Yeah, Inverness is pretty much exactly where they shot The Fog, so...
Right.
That's why it looks so goddamn good.
Right, and I want to say that Carpenter, lived up there.
He lived up near there, and he said, there's no bad shots you can get with the camera up there. It's beautiful everywhere you turn. But I guess the locals didn't like them being there, so they were actively trying to sabotage the production.
Okay.
They
Weird.
would start shooting a scene, and someone started revving up their lawnmower or some other shit, so they couldn't get the audio. Which is, I don't know. I mean, obviously, the city council or whoever's in charge of things said, yeah, okay, they signed things, and everyone else is like, fuck you, I don't know.
Right, you'd think that there'd be a...
I mean, you're giving them income in the town. Or a hotel or whatever the restaurants are there. They're all getting extra boosts in income, so I don't know what your deal is. I mean, it can't be disrupting the daily life that much.
You don't like the inconvenience of maybe a street closure or... Sure.
I mean, I don't know. It's probably just because it's such a small, out-of-the-way community. They're just not used to that sort of scenario. Like, L.A., it fucking happen every day. No one gives a shit.
Well, even in,
or San Fran or something.
Everywhere. Every major market.
Yeah.
I know we've kind of been talking over the events of the movie here.
Sure.
Not that there's a whole lot going on.
Yeah, just character establishments.
Here's another one of your boys.
Yeah. It's a bit of an interesting thing. Even they're born 2 years apart, but Mark Hamill and Christopher Reeve have the same birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think Reeve was the older of the two.
He looks it.
Yeah.
They have done a good job of showing you small-town America.
Yeah.
The way everyone just kind of interacts and knows each other.
Mm-hmm.
It is true, though, the scenery is beautiful everywhere. I mean, look at that. A lot of times you'd have to rely... that's Carpenter right there.
That's gotta be Carpenter.
That's Carpenter right there.
That's definitely him.
Little cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure that's
totally.
him.
I didn't realize his hair was that long back then.
I think it's still long, isn't it? It's weird that he would have the little cameo like that, I mean, in some ways it's not weird, but...
Pepsi's basement there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it's one of those...
It's not something he does a whole lot of.
And it was kind of pointless.
It's he does it in the fog, and they don't... I mean, Body Bags, he was the pseudo-host of the whole thing.
Right.
But he has the one thing in the fog, and doesn't really show up much on camera. And probably just on the day thing. It's whatever.
Yeah, maybe they needed an extra for that, and
Sure.
there wasn't anybody laying around, so
Sure.
he's like, I'll just do
Yeah,
it.
throw on a hat and glasses.
I love that Carlton, the janitor, is just boozing it up in the classroom
Oh.
at 10 a.m.
He's so tight. Buck Flower is so typecast. And like every single time he's on screen, he's a fucking bum drunk. He's in Back to the Future. He was already in They Live and Escape from New York, and at least one other Carpenter film.
I love that the bird passed out too. I mean, what a shot!
Yeah.
How awesome! The guy fell asleep on the grill.
Yeah.
Like, this is tremendous.
Yeah.
What a premise. It does kind of... God damn, look at that.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies where the premise is better than the payoff.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a remake. And it was the whole thing, like, Universal's like, we have this stirring up in development. Carpenter said Wes Craven had worked on it or something. He didn't really have a specific about it. I could have seen, quote, Craven taking a swing at this.
I feel like if Craven did it, it would have been, like, back in the 70s or something.
I mean, they've been trying since, like, the 78 Body Snatcher film took off, so... It was just saying they were swinging around and said, oh, it was... Again, it was one of these studio bullshit things that ends up falling apart because the film didn't perform well. Because Carpenter wanted to do a Creature from the Black Lagoon remake. But Universal has the rights to it. It was like, oh, well, if you do this one, we'll give you this one in exchange. And since Village didn't make money...
That doesn't happen when you crash a car, by the way. Really great little piece of business there where he's driving along,
Yeah.
fully lucid, and once he passes into the town line...
Yeah. And I don't know how well it actually... Probably if you're no more familiar with Michael Paré from his little B-movie roles or whatnot, Carpenter's trying to set him up to make it seem like he's going to be the main character of the whole film.
Okay,
But
he's
then
the
kind
one...
of snuff him out.
He's the one that just crashed and died?
Yeah.
Well, they're really... I mean, what are we? 12 minutes in?
Yeah.
10 minutes in,
Right.
give or take. That's not really enough time to...
Really kind of swerve you? Yeah.
I mean, especially because it's such an ensemble.
Yeah, no,
Like-
yeah.
You know, it's not like Tina in Nightmare 1.
Right. She's set up strong way.
Right. And they don't knock her off until 20, 25 minutes in.
Yeah, they're about.
So, like, this is, you know, they've been showing everybody and their wife
Right.
and their brother and the town,
mean,
the whole goddamn town.
I mean, despite Reeve's last string of films since, like, Superman 4 not been doing well, I mean, you just look, I mean, Reeve's been more established as an A-list type of guy from Superman, so he's more recognizable. Paré's really just done, like, Idiot and the Cruiser, Streets of Fire, stuff that, more cult films instead of, like, big mainstream hits.
I love the rope. It's like The Mist. God, I love The Mist. Nope. Good night. Nighty night. And I guess we've kind of glossed over Kirstie Alley here. Fresh. This is 95, so not necessarily
Cheers.
fresh off of Cheers.
Yeah,
but
Cheers is about 2 years out. I get feeling like it is a bit of a odd Carpenter cast. 'Cause after the last, like, 15 years, you're kind of used to the Kurt Russells, the Donald Pleasances, the whoever else there was, you know, Keith David or something like that. He
had a little bit of a troupe.
And these are, they're kind of like a lot of recognizable kind of A-list people, but they're not A-list anymore. They've kind of faded out from their high points to a certain degree.
But she was pretty high.
Yeah.
By the
not
way,
as a dramatic actress.
No. Well, she'd done some comedies.
Yeah.
Look Who's Talking.
Look Who's Talking, along with the long stint on Cheers and everything. So.
By the way, we completely looked over the. Did you hear that after she introduced her character, she said she's from the National Science Foundation? What the fuck is that?
Carpenter pulling shit out of his ass. Man. You don't know what's going on.
National Science Foundation.
Well,
Come on.
I didn't even check the screenwriter on this thing. I didn't even pay attention.
His name came up. I don't recall who.
David Himmelstein? I've never heard of this dude.
Yeah.
Does
he have any other credits whatsoever?
They got everyone credited on IMDb, including the guys who wrote the previous version of the film. He's got 6 writing credits.
Oh. Well, this is 18% of his work, so.
86 film called Power with Denzel, Richard Gere, and Gene Hackman.
Well, that's a hell of a cast.
Tom Selleck film Talent for the Game.
So far, nothing.
TV movie called Soul of the Game.
Weird.
And that Anthony Hopkins, Chris Rock film Bad Company.
That was later, right?
That's 02.
Yeah, I was going to say that was in the aughts.
And the last thing he has is something called My Name is Sarah, which...
I want to say I saw that Chris Rock one in the theater. Because it was free at the time,
Probably,
for me.
For you. So.
I watched almost everything I could.
Not a celebrated screenwriter to any degree, so...
Weird that he had 2 movies...
Not a regular collaborator with him either, so... Again, it's just the script they picked up and shoved in front of them. That's some good work there.
That's got to be Nicotero.
Oh, yeah. Crispy.
Nicotero, I think I mentioned this when I had my little... chit-chat with him for a few hours. He talked about, and damn it if I don't remember what the name of the book is, but there was some sort of anatomy book where some, I don't know, professor or something literally took photos of, like, accidents and various, like, deformities and, trauma. Okay. And there's, like, an encyclopedia of trauma or something. Mm-hmm. And I forget what it's called, but it's out there.
Okay.
And he and his team got this book and looked at actual pictures of wounds.
Okay.
And used that as what do we need to make this look like? So I wish I could talk to him again and say, hey, what was the name of that book? Because of course, when we were sitting at dinner, I wanted to, I looked on Amazon for it, right then and there. Yeah. There she is, seeing that her husband, right? I believe, has been burnt to a crisp as well. That's 2 Crispies.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they next to each other?
Yeah. Well,
right?
Looks like they're doing multiple ceremonies, probably.
But I mean...
yeah. It's just...
really?
Convenient staging for the frame.
I guess. Small town America, every single person's buried in the same cemetery, I guess.
She was still married to Paul Hogan at the time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Kozlowski. Well, she was the co-star of Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, that's right. I at least saw that once, and it was when I was a kid.
I think they divorced before the 3rd film. I'm not sure. Maybe it was after, but they're not in long time apart. And Hamill was in Body Bags. He played the wacko with the
eye?
Transplant eye.
The eye, yeah. God, Body Bags is so fun. Should put that on the maybe list. Cover that in a commentary.
Maybe.
See? Maybe. Yeah, fantastic premise where the entire town blacks out for a period of X number of hours.
Yeah. Then,
well, it had to have been enough time for the National Science Foundation to swoop in and conduct their tests.
Yeah, and for Barbecue Boy to get done.
If you fall asleep on the grill, I mean, it's probably not going to take that long.
Yeah.
I love the old black and white cop car, too. That's fun.
You don't see that enough.
Well, you know what it is? It's the boxy nature of the car.
Yeah.
Like, it's such an 80s and early 90s thing.
Yeah.
Because I would venture to guess that in, 94, when they're filming this,
Yeah.
most towns don't have brand new cop cars. It's probably an 88, 89 model.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a Jeep, whatever that is. A Ford Bronco, maybe? I don't know what that was. An early version of the SUV. It's a good jacket. I like that.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be morning sickness? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, something along those lines.
You made a mistake. This is the same lady that we just saw with...
No.
Oh, I was going to say. I was like, that was quick. That was a weird transition.
Yeah.
It's like a weird distortion on the top of the frame on the wide shot.
Might be the lens they use.
Yeah. It's a bad jacket. Sorry, lady. She's a good crier.
Oh, yeah.
Good acting, but the costume department's really...
Yeah,
See how the bottom...
Yeah, it's definitely like a prism effect from the lens.
Welcome home, Ben. Oh, look at this old thing. Probably brand new at the time. Those damn flashbulbs. I love that guy. I don't remember his name.
Peter Jason. He's one of the Carpenter regulars. He started working with him on Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness is kind of a weird, underrated film.
Yeah.
It's goofy, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's got that little cameo from, is it Alice Cooper?
Oh, yeah.
That's fun.
I think Carpenter ran into him when he was meeting Piper at Mania 3.
Oh, okay.
He was with Roberts against Honky or
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah. Look at this laptop. Do you recognize this thing? Do you recognize that logo?
That looks like an Apple logo.
Could be, but I don't recognize the model. I'm not an Apple guy, but...
I thought they're going to give us a close-up shot.
I doubt it. I just thought, you're more of a techie than I am. I thought that was... Oh, boy. She went to see a different doctor? How rude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is the, I don't really want it face?
I'm not sure. More just the fact that he knows that all these other women are getting pregnant at the exact same time.
That could be.
It's kind of a haunting feeling.
Right. I guess that's probably more...
Just like, this can't be natural.
Shout out to McCormick Spices on the wall there that look exactly the same.
Yeah. Got a lot of flies thrown around in this film. Well, there's a fly in our previous scene. There's flies in the kitchen.
Flies in the kitchen are bad. Look at that.
Dude.
Yeah, I see
bad
it.
Time.
Those Northern California flies,
Mm-hmm.
It'd probably be really tacky to have one of those glue strips hanging from the ceiling.
Like fucking sleepaway camp.
Yeah.
Gross.
Don't you hate when you go into like a restaurant and you see that and you're like, oh my god,
No,
why?
thank you.
I want to leave, thanks. He's got great eyes.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like a sign just slapped on a building.
A little bit. A little bit.
You'd think they would have, since they had to produce that sign, you'd think they'd come up with something a little better, right?
Yeah.
How can you just claim that, lady? I love looking at these extras.
Sure.
It's like, dear Central Casting, we need townspeople.
Yeah.
Who you got? Oh, you're at National Science Foundation.
Yeah.
Sure you are. Now, isn't it interesting? We do have, in 1995, we do have national news.
Yeah.
CNN is a thing. It's been going for almost a decade at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know if Fox News... I don't think Fox News was a thing at this point.
No.
But
this is
CNN,
the heart of the OJ trial, so it's all over the place.
Right. Well, that was court TV.
Right.
So,
I'm just saying, but news, you can get news anytime you want it,
right,
wherever you look.
We're on the cusp, right? The internet is brand new.
All right.
I mean, it had been around for a little bit, but new to...
Yeah.
Like, the
95
average...
is when we got up on AOL at home
right,
and everything.
The average
so
home
it was starting to come in.
Right. I was talking over Science Foundation. What is the $6,000 for?
Oh, it's like a credit to cover the...
Oh, I see.
Medical
So if you're pregnant,
yeah.
you get this because we want to study your pregnancy. Got it.
Do that and everything, yeah.
I feel like this would be a national news story today.
Yeah.
Because it's very, I don't know, scandal. I don't know the right word, but people love this kind of, I don't know,
unsolved mysteries angle of sorts. It's the best I can go with it. Where's Robert Stack?
Yeah. That's kind of made a comeback on Netflix recently.
Yeah,
so
it's not the same. I mean, it's never been the same without him.
I still like it, though. I like the new ones.
It's okay. I went up on Tubi. They got all the old ones.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful. Oh.
I think they're on Prime as well.
Prime, I think they're on a couple of different platforms, yeah. So
highly recommend, like, from back in the 80s. Go check out Unsolved Mysteries, old school ones. Now, do you think that, like, all of these leading ladies, aside from
Allie?
The Superman's wife, all of them are very, like, blonde and very similar looking.
Sure, yeah.
I wonder if that was intentional. Ugh, weird.
Yeah. Stream sequencing doesn't quite hold up stylistically for me. It's a little... I don't know, quite hokey, but there's a little...
It's just kind of supernatural.
They kind of have a better idea in their heads than what they really could put up on the screen, I think.
Like, she's the only one that's not, like, I don't know...
fitting the demographic of sorts, you'd say.
And...
I mean, in terms of casting-wise, they tried a lot of different ladies to kind of click in with Reeve, and she was the only one that really... found a spark with him in a certain way, and the studio got a little hair-raising when they found out she was a different race than he was, but the first time she saw her was when she was on set or something like that, and it's like, once they saw her performance, they kind of eased off it, but I mean, back then it was still kind of, they were kind of, the social norms or whatnot from the more conservative end were still being...
Right. Well, yeah, mixed race wasn't really all that accepted.
Yeah, I mean, we're still a few years away from homosexual kissing on
TV
or
right,
stuff.
right. All of that, yeah.
The more progressive stuff really hitting its stride.
Which is all very normal stuff. It just wasn't allowed to be on TV.
Yeah, well, yeah, again, executives get all twitchy and shit, you know.
What I was getting at is, I wonder if they made a decision to make all these people, you know, kind of blonde hair and similar looking, so that when the babies are born, it's not all that unusual that they're
platinum blonde and all that. Yeah, I don't know.
Although that one on the right there is a brunette, and so I guess maybe my theory is wrong, and we're just focusing on the 2 or 3. Yeah, all right, I'm wrong. We've only been really introduced to those 2 as main characters. We haven't really been introduced to all of them.
Mm-hmm. So
never mind. My theory's out the window. Look at all these station wagons that don't exist anymore. It's SUV or bust.
Uh-huh.
And they got like a makeshift hospital out here.
Yeah.
So many right angles on all these cars. Oh my god. Now, are we led to believe that 9 months has gone by, or are these accelerated pregnancies?
See, they never... I'm guessing it's supposed to be 9 months. They don't use a certain filmmaking technique to kind of...
To let you know.
Inform that with the passage of time. I mean, jumping from this, and then when we actually have a little bit more grown kids, you don't explicitly get the feeling like it's been like 5 years past since it started. It's a little cloudy.
I don't like cloudy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. In my storytelling, I like rules.
Clear, concise.
Right. Yeah. You tell me the rules, you follow the rules, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
I see you. You're in a barn.
Where else is there to go?
She does look very stylish in her turtleneck and blazer.
Yeah.
Is everyone surprised? Like, in 95, you could definitely tell a gender. There weren't these, fucking stupid gender reveal parties, but
sure,
you could know.
If you wanted to, sure.
I don't know when the, norm became, we find out for sure what it's gonna, the sex.
Sure.
Because I feel like old school, like his generation,
yeah,
it was always just wait and see.
Yeah.
Surprise me.
Yeah.
We got 2 names ready. Which one are we using?
Sure, yeah.
I like that guy.
Yeah, you listen to the commentary on Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter calls him Mr. Hollywood. They're really good friends. It's a great commentary.
I don't think I've ever listened to a Carpenter commentary.
Oh, you listen to ones with him and Kurt Russell, man. They're the best.
On The Thing?
Thing, Big Trouble in Little China. They're awesome. The best time you'll listen to.
I've never really, ironically, I've never really been a commentary person. I've listened to them, but I don't, go out of my way to...
Sure.
Oh, this must be the ICU in the van.
She's got other things up her sleeve, man.
That was the dead one? The stillborn?
Yeah.
Have they even really said how many were... have they established that there were 10?
I think there's 10.
I know there's 10, okay. Or at least there were. Now there's 9 because they're paired off except for the one.
Yeah.
But... was it made clear that it was specifically 10? And that there were 5 boys and 5 girls?
I don't recall them specifically saying, it's just these 10 out of all the women in the entire town. So it's they make it out seeming like all the women in town have been impregnated when that's technically not the case.
No, it's only 10.
So it's a little peculiar on that front. Why did it specifically choose just these women? Because I think the one Hamill was talking to with the church, that she hadn't had intercourse in like a year because her husband was gone.
Correct.
So,
the one that was Welcome Home Bob or whatever the fuck. And then the girl that had I think it was the girl with the stillborn, was like allegedly a virgin.
Yeah.
So
all these interesting pieces that don't. There's a lot of things in the film that don't quite click all the way in terms of concept.
I just wish they were a little more clear on the fact that there were 10 and that it was 5 boys and 5 girls and like everything is
symmetrical to a degree. Yeah.
Right.
Just explore more the implications of what's going on, but not so much the reason behind why it happened. Yeah.
Well, clearly everyone doesn't know why it's happening.
Yeah.
But I feel like as a group, they would be looking for clues or looking to connect dots.
Right.
That one on the left is like a super old kid.
Yeah.
That one's been around for months. That looks like a Cabbage Patch doll.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little vacant in the eye.
Yeah.
So where's my bottle? Just get my bottle right now.
Right, that one, the middle there looks like a normal one. The Binky is also looks sleepy. The one on the right there looks like a cute, normal, happy baby. Like, that's a cute kid. That's like that's like a Gerber baby there.
Yeah.
It's weird that she would be like the liaison for the government and be just camped in this town for a year or two.
Yeah, just a little. Again, there's little vagaries around the edges of the story.
I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but I like details.
Yes.
And I understand being vague for the sake of, like, because now clearly, like, 2 more years has gone by, or maybe 1 year.
Yeah, they just make it seem like it's the next day.
Right, but they've leapt a year, at least a year.
Yeah, just a little.
And it's, I mean, that's a great clue there. You know, like, something is weird with these kids.
Yeah.
And
another fly flying around. Jesus, what's going on up here? Zoom and pie or
I never noticed that before.
I'm picking them up all over the place. I mean, it's not the best HG transfer. It's not bad, but definitely revealing some gnats or something going on. Get you outside the calendar. What year is it?
November.
November.
I think those eyes are a Nicotero special.
Yeah, Industrial Light and Magic.
Oh, really?
They did the visual effects, yeah. Big fluffy outfit.
I know at some point they actually dyed the kids' hair.
Yeah,
and spray painted them.
Yes, and some of them got like their scalp was starting to burn and stuff like that, and some of the kids' hair started falling out. So it was a little,
it was
little much.
Not great. But I do feel like that's on the oldest version. I feel like this is like an in between age.
Yeah.
That feels like a wig to me.
Yeah, probably.
And that kid is not the same age as that kid, as far as I'm. Oh. I can't even imagine.
Oh. Yeah, I burned like my finger once. Straining some water. Oh, you want to know.
I know, like, if you've ever gotten a steam burn, even.
Yeah. It's even worse because she even just forces her to put it back in. Just like, fucking Christ.
Awesome. It's so good. But you're telling me the kid in the high chair and that little boy are the same age? Same day?
Girl or whatnot. In the older kids, there was a few of the boys are played by girls, apparently.
No, it's the other way around. There's one girl... Oh, wait, no, you're right.
There are a few girls that played the boys.
It's one. There's one. I don't remember which one it is.
One or two or something like that. Yeah, I couldn't pick him up from what I was looking, because, I mean...
Oh, I can.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I kept trying to pick it up on random shots here and there.
You have to look, and we'll be on the lookout for you.
The shots are so short and there's so many in a frame, it's a little hard to grab them all.
Right. You got to do it when they're walking in pairs.
Okay.
Because they're paired off boy-girl, and you can clearly tell that one of them is like girl-girl.
Okay. Okay.
But girl dressed to look like a boy, I think, is what it is. I don't think it's the other way around.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's like Pacific Northwest at its finest.
Chopping some of the girls' hair off and everything.
Clearly, everyone would be aware that all the kids have this platinum blonde hair.
Right.
And have similar features.
Yeah. Good little scene from him there, man. Just playing everything with the expressions.
She wouldn't be, like, in the hospital?
He wrapped her up and everything, I guess. I mean...
Yeah, but...
Yeah, I don't know. Again...
Burn unit, I mean, good Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the...
And she gone.
And she had an interesting interview on the documentary on the Scream Factory disc, saying, like, going off to shooting this scene where she's trying to psych herself into this dark, suicidal place, and she's prepping herself, and gets to the point, it's like, the fog is rolled in, we're going to have to scrap that scene, we're going to have to go off to the bedroom scene now.
Oh, no.
And then
like the opening scene?
No, whatever scene where they just had...
I feel like it had to be the bedroom scene would have been the very first scene.
It would have to be, yeah.
How do we...
But then it's like that. It's like, okay, now I'm psyching myself back up. I'll kind of loosen herself up. Then it's like, now we're going back and doing the suicide scene now. But after they did the scene, Carpenter came up and gave her a bit of a I don't know, if a hug or something like that. Just like knowing that it was probably a chore to get through it. So he kind of gave her a little something for it. That shows, I mean, even if Carpenter's not fully invested in the whole thing, it's kind of a work for hire thing. He's still John Carpenter. He still really takes care of his actors.
I didn't really get the feeling from that last scene that
the kid was
responsible for the suicide.
Yeah, because the eyes didn't glow or anyway. So you've established a visual language, and then you kind of not pull the trigger on it again. Right.
You told me the rules, and then you didn't follow the rules.
Right. And that last scene with Allie there in the black room with everyone, it starts to make it feel like it's a government conspiracy. That the government did some kind of weird experimentation thing, but that's not the way it ends up going. So it's a little...
It's vague, again.
Yeah, it's a little messy. So...
Well, we got boy, girl. Well, the front one.
Is the third one back, maybe?
Yep, there it is. That one right there. Girl, girl.
Okay.
And then little David walking by himself.
Yeah.
And now they're, what, 6? 5, 6?
They're about.
I mean, you got to be 5 or 6 to go to school.
Yeah.
It would have been better if they were all walking in step.
Yeah. I guess Peter Jason was kind of the drill sergeant for them to try and make them go beat by beat and very almost goose stepping to a degree type of thing. He was trying to go along, try to get uniformed on that, but he said he came off as an old curmudgeon.
She's
the little
great.
girl is fantastic in this thing.
And this is the first time that they've alluded to the idea that the kids can read the minds of the adults.
Sure. It's apparently established, sort of established canon to all the characters in it, because again, we got passage of time that we're not really getting the strict sensibility about. So
that's awesome. I've never seen that before. You grabbed the wrong one?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh my God, if you've ever gotten soap in your eye or anything, like, holy shit, I don't even know what that was, but it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And you don't calm down that quickly, by the way.
Probably not.
What did you do? Oh shit.
It was the kind of thing. I've been to the ophthalmologist this year because my eyesight went a little weird this year, and they had to numb my eyes and stuff like that. It's all just a very bizarre experience. First they had to dilate you, then they'd numb your eyes, and you just like, once you step outside, you're just like, fucked, man.
Yeah. I do love the visual of, boy, girl, similar dress. And isn't it interesting? Nobody's explained why 9 different parents have seemingly all dressed their kids the same way.
Sure.
Like, the kids don't make their own clothes buying decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everything's just a little...
A little off. I don't know.
It's a little fuzzy.
Like, clearly the parents would dress their children like normal children. Sure. How did they all end up in the same clothes?
Yeah.
The old Chevy Cavalier there, that blue one. That's been a staple for 30 years. It's weird that a line of a model of car lasts so many, like, multiple generations. Mm-hmm. Usually, the model goes obsolete after a decade or so, and they just come up with something new.
The classic, like your Thunderbirds or something.
Right, but they don't still make Thunderbirds, right?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. But like a Camaro.
Or a Corvette. Like a Corvette has lasted forever and ever.
Yeah.
But even, there's models of car that lasted, 10 years and then they just don't make it anymore.
Yeah.
But the Cavalier is, and maybe they don't make the Cavalier anymore, but I know that they made a Cavalier not that long ago.
Yeah.
Everybody that's listening to this has known somebody that drove a Cavalier. He is cute, Dekker.
Oh, yeah. Here's the one I sent you that clip of.
Yep. Because he was in the remake, right, of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, and he said it was a horrendous trash.
He called it shit, I think, and something.
Yeah, he called it was horrendous because, like,
and we do pretend that it doesn't exist.
Yeah, But I find that very refreshing. Sometimes it's just a paycheck. You don't have to believe in the art. You don't have to defend the art. Sometimes it's just like, catch a paycheck, and that's fine. Because that would have been right after they canceled the Sarah Connor Chronicles. So I was like, I need a job, so fuck it.
Right.
Canceled it on a cliffhanger. Fuck you, Fox. You suck.
That was a really good example of the kid reading the mind of the adult.
Right.
I wish that this scene had happened prior to the girl confronting Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, something.
It would have been an establishing...
Right.
kind of a foundation to build on.
Apparently, there was a cut scene here where they encounter these like bullies or whatnot, and they kind of they trounce the bullies with their own powers and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, it got cut out. I don't know if it was just pacing or runtime, whatever the hell it was. But the kids were really kind of disappointed it got cut when they saw the film finally. Dekker really calls out this weird walk he has, this bouncy walk he has in the film. It's like, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. It's too damn good, man.
Yeah, that girl is awesome.
She got it down so well that she ended up being like this freaking taskmaster with all the other kids, like, I'm the one in charge.
Oh, really?
Offset and everything, yeah. A little too much into the role. You have to go Daniel Day-Lewis with this, and you can pull it back a little bit.
Yeah. That's great. You're telling me that this hot girl was a virgin?
This town, maybe. I don't know. She had a cross around her neck. Maybe that'd say something.
Well, there you go.
Maybe you need something.
Right, she was married to Jesus. Yeah. That happens. Happens all the time.
She's married to Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe was the hot Jesus at that time.
There's a phrase.
There's a controversy.
There's a phrase I didn't think I was going to hear when I woke up this morning. Was hot Jesus.
Hot Jesus at the time.
Oh shit! So now, are we to believe now that Dekker can see the future? Is that the idea that David
Well, he can read their minds and see what they're thinking and what they're intending. Yeah.
But
seeing what she's intending.
This is the first time we've seen a visual interpretation of the thought, though.
Yeah.
So I see.
So yeah, she's killed
so
herself.
It did actually, right?
That, yeah. Reeve's so good at these expressions, man.
Again, a really wonky timeline, though. You know,
yeah,
like,
it's
like you've not told me any sort of progression. Like you're leaving it completely up to us to figure out.
Feels like the film needed an extra 5 minutes of running time somewhere. Just transition things better.
Right, just, a little bit, like you said, even just a 30-second bridge between each of the eras.
Right.
I love the costuming on the kids.
Yeah.
Even though I don't understand how it came to be from the character standpoint.
Yeah.
Aw. Great question. I'd like to know also. I'm all ears, kid. This is a weird, like, cemetery.
A little bit, but it looks good. It's good photography, man.
Also good how they dimmed as if the cloud cover.
Cloud went over top, yeah. It's a nice bit.
Which may have been real.
I'm guessing it was probably real, yeah.
It is an interesting character development that the David is actually behaving more like a human,
more empathetic, yeah,
like a human child. Well, didn't you notice that they were all paired off,
right,
dude? Like, and he was always walking alone.
Yeah, I mean,
it's fairly obvious to everyone,
right? I mean, they might be the intention might be questioning more the deeper meaning of why they are together, but it's not. It's not.
Now they're more in step with each other.
Right.
He was still bouncy though.
Yeah, a little bit.
Creepy marionette there on the right.
Yeah.
He's a very distinct-looking human.
Yeah.
And this is right before his accident, right?
That was a thing. I think it was
months?
A month after the film was released.
Okay.
He got paralyzed in the horse riding accident.
Yeah, I don't know who the main girl is, but she has it.
Yeah, I think it was Laura Haun. Something like that.
Whatever it is, she has it.
Oh, yeah, she's right on it, man. 100%.
There's another fucking fly.
Yeah, what the hell, man? That was the thing. Everyone on the film said Chris Reeve was the nicest, most generous guy possible. He would sit down at lunch and talk about the craft of acting with everyone. He would just so kind to everyone. I mean, that was something you could just see it as the man after he got paralyzed and all the stuff he was continuing to do. I mean, you've seen the clip from him from the Oscars, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, wants to bring you to tears, man. Yeah, he was just so selfless. I really do look up to what he did and all the other stuff. He was trying to champion when he just barely feel anything below the neck. I mean, the guy was an incredible human being.
That second one in is the girl playing the boy.
Try to put him a little bit out of focus.
The La Ventana means the window. The Christopher Reeve thing that you were saying, like, it really goes to show what kind of a human. Wow, careful there, dude. What kind of a human he was, because, like, imagine anyone, yourself, if you're listening to this, suddenly a paraplegic. How do you mentally, like, still shine so bright and be so positive in life?
Yeah, I mean...
Like, I don't think I would be that way.
I mean, his wife, Dana, really helped him along to just kind of grapple with that and everything. But after he passed, she didn't pass much longer after him.
Oh, really? I don't think I knew that.
I think it was about a year or so afterwards. But I mean, she kept him strong, and their kids were great too. I mean, guys, just anything. Just go look up any interviews or documentaries or whatnot. It's just gonna make you feel all over.
I love this. Going up the ladder backwards.
Oh, yeah. Ain't an easy thing to do either, man.
No.
No, they had a crash pad for him just in case or something out underneath.
I don't know. But interesting that the David character is not participating in this. He was like, ow.
A little bit of a dummy there, but it didn't show it for too long.
What'd you call me?
But Sean Clark did Hallowed Grounds on this thing, and a lot of the places were very mostly similar.
Yeah. I love Sean Clark. I own this as well, and I remember watching all the...
This is about 6 years old right at this point in time, but I can't imagine they've done much else. And they did some remodel on the schoolyard here, but he was still able to frame up all the same shots and everything.
What year did he die?
2004, I think it was.
And that was just complications of being paraplegic?
It kind of came on. I think it was October, almost exactly 18 years past. Yeah, October 10th of 2004. I think he attended like a recital for one of his kids the night before, and something just
gave out.
Something.
His body gave up.
Yeah, something. It was an infection for pressure ulcer called sepsis.
Right, sepsis is like blood poisoning, basically.
Yeah, his kid's hockey game the night before, and he just had a cardiac arrest. Yeah, it all just kind of domino effect on him. So it was real sad. I mean, even Richard Donner, one of the early documentaries on the Superman DVD is like he was convinced that he'd end up walking again. He did so much work for it, and he just was almost seemingly tireless towards the cause and everything.
Here's another, like, not swerve, but another clue that it is possibly a government thing. You know what I mean? Like, are they trying to misdirect the audience?
Yeah.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the running theme of this movie is like everything is so loosey-goosey.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to go the route of Alien. Just because when you think Village of the Damned,
right,
you're thinking like supernatural, demonic, omen-esque type of thing. Like Gregory Peck's going to show up at the end with some daggers, some shit. But then it turns into a science fiction alien story. It just feels weird implication with the title to tie it in on a different plane from science. Go from kind of a demonic horror idea to more of a science fiction-esque idea. It's
well, right, because Of the Damned is a kind of a religious connotation.
Right.
You think devil.
Right.
I know that's what you just said. I'm just kind of...
Yeah. But then you go much more sci-fi X-Files route on this thing.
And here's where it takes the turn.
Right.
Now, clearly it didn't look like that when it was born.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. None of them looked like that when it was born, so I'm just it's a little...
it's weird that he would walk away after seeing the alien thing.
Right,
like,
right.
Not like... I mean, he's a medical professional.
Right.
Don't you think he'd be, like, super interested?
Yeah.
I know I would be.
Right.
But I'm so
he's
confused.
He's a man of science.
Right. I'm so confused as to why it looks like an alien in the jar. And
right.
It didn't look like an alien when it came out the machine.
Yes. Again, the screenwriter didn't shore up the concepts as well enough.
Oh, yeah. You could say that again. What's he mad about?
He's just kind of frustrated, I guess.
I like that she's, like, running the show now.
Yeah. Like the lighting in the scene.
This feels like almost like a midpoint.
Yeah.
And we are
well
over an hour.
That.
We're over an hour in, so we're,
yeah,
10 to 15 minutes past. I don't know what our midpoint would have been.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to say. Like, there wasn't a clearly defined moment where they, like, showed their mind reading power or
right. It's somewhere in the range of, like, after they get born towards this adolescent age somewhere, and it's not a clearly defined
pivot
or on the turn
or realization or
right
first. Like, none of the firsts happened.
Right. I don't feel that as much.
Which, again, as we've discussed for years now, it is kind of a math formula, and anytime that you get to the end of a movie and you're like, I don't know, I didn't really like it, something was off.
Right.
Chances are it was off because the screenwriter did not follow the math problem.
Right. They lingered in some part of the story without paying it off soon enough or something like that. Yeah.
And part of the math problem is the midpoint needs to be at the mid.
Right.
And clearly defined.
Yeah.
I feel like if we've taught anybody anything in the last 6 years of doing these, it's what is a midpoint and why is it important?
Yeah.
He is super cute.
Mm-hmm.
And they all, like, showed up at the barn at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. It's like the parents are in control here.
Right.
Who's dressing them? Why are they driving them at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
I have so many questions. Now, I guess this addresses it a little bit. He's come to get...
Yeah.
And they can stop him.
Yeah.
Which it looks like they're going to do. Great face on him as he slammed on the brakes. This one is his daughter, I would assume? Oh, no.
Yeah.
He has great hair.
Oh, yeah. He looks great in this whole thing. The beard, too.
Now, there's a holy shit moment.
Yeah.
And the first eye blazing was when they were toddlers, so that wasn't your midpoint.
No.
Like, there's so many things that could have been the midpoint.
Yeah.
And none of them were. Here's a great example of the actor showing you what the... that looked a little miniature.
Yeah. Yeah.
But granted, the kids got the eyes blazing going on, but then, the guy, I forget his name.
Peter Jason, yeah.
Yeah, he acted the hell out of so you realize there was a cause and effect because of the acting.
Right.
Wherein, when his wife jumped off the cliff,
it wasn't quite sold as strongly.
It was neither the kid nor her. Neither one, what happened?
Now she's saying, well, there were freaking colonies of this happening in other countries and everything, and now they're all been wiped out.
Right. Yeah, she listed a bunch in their talk before. I feel like she would have gone on to have a career because she's so good. You know what I mean?
The kid?
Yeah, the girl, the lead girl. And I do feel like they really underdeveloped. They did a great job of developing her and David as polar opposites. You've got the leader of the group and the outcast.
Lindsey Haun, that's what it was. Yeah, go ahead.
So we've done a great job establishing the two bookends of the batch.
Yeah.
They've done nothing to tell me anything about the other 7.
Yeah.
I don't even know their names.
Yeah. Aside from that Julie one we just got introduced to because of Jason.
Right. So, I feel like that's a squandered opportunity in this.
Yeah. They're all supposed to just be fall in line drones of sorts, so you don't feel like there's a necessity towards it.
But again, to your point, another 5 minutes of, a scene where there's some sort of childhood development in one, and they show it happening to all of them at the same time, or something.
Something.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Change in seasons, even, just to give a sense of some passage of time.
Or, rotate which child is showing us the development of the next...
Something, it needs a little
kick in the pants.
Dig a little further into it, yeah. I would feel like if this was a Carpenter passion project thing and he worked a lot more rigorously in collaboration with the screenwriter, I think they would have hashed out more of the screenplay, but because it's more of a just cash the check type of thing so we can get to a project that I really want to do, it's little... He doesn't invest himself that deeply into shaking loose the finer details.
How hard would it be if you're John friggin' Carpenter to divorce yourself from the creative input?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he was so heavily involved
and so many other things.
In so many other of his films that, unless you're jaded and you're, like you said, he was kind of fed up with
the studio system and kind
of, being...
politics and everything of it all.
Right. So maybe in that case, chances are we all have, everyone listening to this has a job, and chances are there have been days or weeks or months where you just said,
fuck it.
I'm just going along for the ride. Mm-hmm. You're not as emotionally invested in your job.
Right.
You're just showing up and doing the job. So, and I know I've been there too.
Yeah.
And I'm in a position of leadership. So there have been plenty of days that I just said, well, today I don't want to be the boss.
Sure, yeah. I think Carpenter said I think it was more the experience of the film that he appreciated, but he kind of looks at the film maybe a little less than rosy to a certain degree. I think he did say if he went back now, he'd execute certain things differently and take a different approach to certain other elements.
You're telling me the priest is going to pull the trigger of all the characters in the movie that could have done this,
I mean, I think Hamill does a fine performance. I don't. Again, it's another thing that feels a little underdeveloped. They could have had him go a little bit more on the fringe as the film was going on. I mean, there's a scene earlier when I think he was talking with Kirstie Alley's character. Where he's kind of like feeling a little just ominous about the situation, but he wasn't quite at bell tower situation type of guy yet.
My question is there a reason why they made him a priest?
Yeah, and I was just going to say that they could have played up a lot more of him being...
Like, at no point did he have, like, was he a zealot or pious in any way?
Just some way where you could have shown him being a lot more kind of like talking about scripture and being a lot more... I
would have liked, as much as I don't love religion, I would have liked a religious character's perspective on what's happening.
Tap into the damned part of this title.
Right. If you're going to have a priest, have that priest be a priest and not just a random townsperson.
Right. Have him kind of rile the people up now, being like, make him be
the leader, the pitchfork guy.
Yeah. Evil dies tonight.
Right. Yes. Yes. Evil dies tonight. Great, great imagery.
Mm-hmm.
And how did she get a hold of just the three of them?
I think they kind of...
Or are they forcing her?
Well, I think it was the fact that they were confronting her a few minutes ago and they were using the glowy eyes thing. I think they broke through on her head finally and found out exactly what she's been hiding all this time.
Got it. And what she's been hiding is this little poofy marshmallow alien baby.
Stay Puft marshmallow alien.
That did not look like that when it was born.
Right.
It grew after going in the jar.
That's not newborn size.
It's a baby in a fat suit.
I understand there's a little distortion on the glass, but not that much. Like deformed hand.
Yeah, I don't get why it looked like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this is good.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people barbecued in this movie. Burned at the stake, or
there's no Tony Caesar in sight.
I don't think so.
No.
If it had been a Wes Craven movie, now that'd be a different story.
Sure, huh?
Wes Craven was doing Scream at the time.
He's kind of in between New Nightmare and Scream at this time.
Right, I feel like he would have been working on Scream, though. You know what I mean?
Developing it, maybe, yeah.
Oh, you gonna get your cans out? What's happening?
Scalpel time.
They're forcing her to do her own autopsy, I guess? Is that the idea?
This is the Y incision thing. You did it to her, and I do it to yourself.
When I see a scalpel, though, I really only think of Gage Creed.
Doing a hell of a job selling it, though.
And I guess Dr. Giggles. Do you ever see Dr. Giggles?
No. Larry Drake.
That's a hell of a fun movie. It's bad.
Oh, yeah.
But it's one of those I grew up with, so I loved it. Right age at the right time, I guess.
She's doing a hell of a job selling this, man. Oh.
That killed her? I guess it would. Maybe.
Yeah. Just a little disappointed there's not some blood involved, you know.
There really is not. I mean, the gore of the barbecued man at the beginning is
about the extent of it, yeah.
Is about the worst it's gotten. Yeah. Like, maybe they ran out of budget.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Nicotero was saying, like, they didn't have a whole lot they had to do on this film in terms of K&B, so...
mean, that looks pretty good. But if you're making a list of the deaths, right? You've got, like, barbecued man. You've got pickup truck guy that exploded. You've got...
Yeah. I mean, they gave him $22 million on this film.
That lady burned. The other guy burned in the car when he crashed.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many burn deaths.
Yeah.
The woman with her hand in the pot was a burn.
Yeah.
It's
Intriguing,
weird, right?
yeah.
It's an interesting ratio. Disproportionate.
Why some daggers across the screen?
Something. Give me something. I mean, I like burning.
Yeah.
My dad's a fireman.
Like I said, they gave him $22 million. It's like, it kind of feels $22 million. I don't know. It's probably just more like the visual effects.
Well, let me get out my old favorite
Sure.
inflation calculator.
I mean, the cast feels about right for the budget and everything. I don't know. It just feels like there'd be a little more bang for their buck for that amount.
Right.
Maybe it's when all the National Guard shows up with the guns and start blowing everyone away. Yeah, it's maybe about $40 million now. Maybe 42.
Your guess is 42?
Yes.
The rate of inflation would make $22 million of $1995. $42,846,000.
Nice.
Holy cow, Price is Right. You win. Ding, ding. 42.8 in today's dollars. I feel like this is going to be a new gimmick on our show. Every
that's
commentary.
Fine. We can go for that.
I love the inflation calculator. 42.8. This doesn't feel like 42.8, though.
No, it needs, like I said, it needs more sizzle. It needs more flash on screen for that. I don't know.
Now, things cost more money then than they do now. Because now it would be all computers.
Yeah. Of course, the film only made about $9 million.
Oh.
Yeah. Just over $9 million.
Ouch.
Yeah. You can see. Like, the Creature remake didn't happen.
Yeah. Right.
I mean...
That's a shame. Highway Patrol, it says on the
The last film in this era that Carpenter got profit on was They Live and Prince of Darkness. So everything in the 90s lost money.
Really?
I mean, I did a video on vampires, was like documented. It says it kind of like earned as much as it, like they spent like $20 million on it, earned $20 million back. But Carpenter said it made more money overseas, but no one really has documented that. But I'll take him at his word, because what the fuck does he ever lie about? Shit.
That could be a fun commentary someday down the road. Vampires.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, memoirs. A lot of money on that because all the visual effects didn't make any money. Mouth of Madness didn't. Fucking Escape from LA did not at all. And that thing cost like $50 million, made about half that. And the reason why all the effects in Escape from LA look like shit is because they cut.
Awesome.
They moved the fucking release date up and they cut out like half the freaking post production time on it.
This is great, by the way.
So you can,
I like this
Another
Climax.
studio screws over Carpenter again.
You can see why he's jaded.
Yeah.
There's another blow
So
up
you
of
just
a car.
want to sit at home, play some video games, and smoke some pots.
I feel like he does all of those things. Why are these
Play on
cars
his
exploding?
I don't know. You gotta put the budget somewhere, I guess.
Everyone who listens to this knows that I hate that. Cars don't explode. In particular in midair. Yeah, there's a lot of blood and gore in this.
Yeah.
But squibs are really about all they've got. You know, I mean, there's not a lot of
flash.
Right, beyond that. Yeah. The gunshot through the window, the first one, was great, but this is awesome. They all turn their heads up at the same time and kind of...
I was like, this is kind of like the Climax, the fire starter.
A little bit.
There's not as much fire.
A little bit. There's been
a random helicopter.
Plenty of fire, though, throughout. throughout the movie, though.
Yeah.
Firestarter's the one that Carpenter wanted to do
he was.
And did not get to do it.
Yeah.
It's too bad he didn't do the remake either, because it needed him.
He had a better score than the film actually got turned into. Scores are way better than the film.
Great job there of showing that he's
scared,
feeling emotion.
Anxious, yeah.
Any emotion is better than another charred body.
I think it's that's the same one. From earlier,
same one. Ah, you're stealing from the dead. What a bitch.
She needs some car keys.
Grand Theft Auto.
Real cold out there, huh?
Yeah, no kidding. Couldn't tell if that was a post-production thing, or it has to be, right?
Yeah, it has to be at that time. What month was this released? It was released in April, so they were probably shooting like November.
In the fall?
Right,
maybe,
October, November, I'd bet.
But in Northern California,
chilly.
It's still probably in the 40s or 50s Fahrenheit. Sorry for all our European friends that don't understand what that means. Burning trunk on car 4242.
Just light it up. We want to keep warm around here.
He can't see his breath.
Super breath.
Where does one get that much dynamite?
I don't know. There's not an explosives expert in town, as far as I know.
Right, like, you can't just go into a store and buy dynamite.
No, you need like a license or some shit.
Right, like in heat.
In heat, exactly. What I was going to think of. Yeah. Shirtless.
Right, you got to have a permit, and you got to go to New Mexico or wherever it was.
Arizona. I think it was.
Yeah. That lamp that's on his desk, little production thing, is such a classic. Like, that green shade desk lamp is identical to the one you have on your desk right now. As you,
I've had that since high school, man.
I just think it's like, A, you can't find them anywhere anymore, and B,
you can.
Every single desk had a green lamp like that. That is hilarious. I wish we did video. Like,
seriously, I've had that thing for like 18 years, man.
That is. I just looked to my left. This is the quintessential.
I have no idea what 18 years. I've had that for like 25 years or some shit, man. I can't do math no more, man. I'm too old. I just blank out for years.
I get it. I get it.
Anymore.
I get it.
90s were too long ago.
Yours is a little different, yeah?
A little, maybe a little bit.
Not much. I just think it's like a time capsule thing for me. And she's got to come in and ruin the whole thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ruh-roh.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes are really the only thing that they've done to, I don't know, to give us a sense of their power. Brick wall, brick wall, brick wall. But I guess all of them together can force through the brick wall?
That's what they're trying to do.
As cheesy as it is, this scene is fairly effective.
Yeah. It's oddly the one scene I always remembered from it when the one time I saw it.
Just keep going. Don't stop.
Well, they keep turning around and whammying her.
Oh, is that what's happening? Like they're like she's not giving the impression that she's frozen. Like, except
a little bit. I think they would do more to her than just freeze her in place.
Right, like they've forced people to commit suicide the whole movie.
Right.
The sweat is a nice touch. And now the alien face comes through?
Yeah. That's actually a combination of K and B's work, creating a head sculpt for the thing and then giving it off to ILM to scan it in and superimpose it on them.
That's interesting.
Hell of a piece of work.
That's interesting. It's very effective. It doesn't look as hokey as like the dream sequence from earlier.
Right. In fact, the effects look so good, I can really credit to at least having the money they had, because...
Boom. More fire. More burning. How many people have died by fire in this movie? Like, it's... So many.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great practical effect, stunt, or whatever you call it.
Pyrotechnics.
Yeah. Man, the 80s and 90s were so good at, like, blowing shit up.
Oh, yeah. Fucking Rennie Harlan, man.
Nobody blows shit up anymore.
Not a practicality, no, man. Just stick it in the computer.
Rennie Harlan's doing something stupid coming up, right?
He's doing a Strangers remake for some
That's
reason.
Right. He's... oh, God
Why is
damn
it a remake?
Why?
What are you doing?
And why him? Clearly the Strangers are going to blow up at the end. Something's blowing up.
Some dynamite in that thing, I guess.
I'll probably watch it and just get pissed. As I'm wanted to do.
Like, Paré and I did so well, we need more, I guess. I don't fuck all I know.
Carpenter is very fond, and I know he didn't write this, but he's very fond of these kind of open-ended endings.
Ambiguous, slightly dreadful.
Right. What
projection of what might happen at the next moment.
He's still out there, kind of.
Yeah.
Now, did they make a sequel to this?
Not to this one. I think the original had a sequel. I think it was called Children of the Damned, but I don't fuck all do I know anything about it.
I think that's right. Now that you say that, that sounds right. And there were two Sims. I wonder if they were actually twins. They must have been.
Some Wilhelms.
The fact that David, survived and went on to, another town with Mom is ripe for somebody making a sequel.
I mean, Carpenter's saying it wasn't my intention or anything
Man
like that.
at gas station phone. Rip Hate, which is John Carpenter. Why would he give himself that name?
Well, like sometimes he credits himself as Frank Armitage, or on Prince of Darkness it's Martin Quatermass, because I think it was mainly on Prince of Darkness or They Live, where it's like, my name was plastered so much over this poster, you felt so self-conscious and embarrassed by it that you started using pseudonyms at certain points of time.
Yeah, but they're all stupid. It's not like John Smith.
Right. Now me, I make all these short films, stuff like that, and everything. I've written it, I've directed it, I've edited it, I've freaking produced it. I'm putting my name all over it. I worked that hard.
Right. So it would actually be kind of ironically humorous if you credited your acting as, like Bob Smith.
All right. Peculiar. It's peculiar.
Yeah, or, you know, or something completely ridiculous like Vola or whatever. Rip. The guy's name was Rip in this.
Vola Rubin.
Yeah, that's where I got that from. So, I don't know. It's a weird little time capsule.
Rip hates Village of the Damned.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the way he felt. Hate. Spelled differently. And Rip, R.I.P.
I mean, the thing's got good performances. I mean, I think Chris Reeve is really solid in this thing. He really puts in a real solid effort.
It just needed...
But it's a screenplay that's a little flopping around here.
Floppy. It was a floppy play.
You got to tie down the concepts and kind of work on the narrative structure more.
Right, and the timeline and the make it a little more
progression of
succinct.
The story. Yeah,
follow the math for me a little more.
Yeah.
Give us a little more. Right, like I feel like I don't want to say it was first draft, but it feels like not a final draft.
Right. You're still working
somewhere in between.
Them. Yeah. Jeff Amata, fantastic. He's a fantastic stunt coordinator. I just talked about him on the Brand Lee film Rapid Fire. He was close friends with Lee.
Oh, okay.
And he's worked on like 200 or something like that of the best action films of like the last 40 years.
200.
I don't know what it is. I mean,
but a lot.
He worked on Heat. He's worked on a bunch of stuff. I think he worked on maybe Lethal Weapon and tons of like dozens. If you look up Jeff Amata on IMDb, you'll see like credits for like almost every action film you've seen in the last 40 years. I think he worked again with Carpenter. He might have worked again on Vampires or something. I'm not sure. He worked out with him a time or two.
I was looking for any sort of reference to Nicotero or...
I think it comes up a little bit on here.
K&B of any kind.
It's coming up.
Because ILM got special mention.
Yeah, for visual effects. I think they're coming up here. Here we are.
Oh, there you go. Makeup effects.
Yeah.
So, all the burning. There they are. There they are. K&B.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. Oh, miniatures. Like that guy driving his truck into the...
Yeah.
That looks so miniature.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This movie is... it's middle of the road for me.
Right.
It's got some definitely redeeming qualities, but...
The blanket thing has always been like all the 90s stuff. It ain't very good, stuff like that. It's like they're not... Most of them aren't bad. They're just not him at his peak.
There could have been a little bit more, I don't know, suspense, terror. It's missing something.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on it, but like the imagery of the cover art makes it look so much
haunting.
Right. It looks so much worse than what it is.
Yeah.
It's so much more tame.
Yeah.
And there's a disconnect for me.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Great visuals, just something's off.
Yeah. The score is decent. It doesn't stand out to me, unfortunately. It's about the same as the feeling he seems to be throwing into the film itself. So
right. It's like you go to take a drink of your Coca-Cola, but you actually grabbed your bottle of water instead.
Yeah, a little bit.
And you're like, oh.
It's not quite the feeling I was looking for.
Right. Yeah. This movie is like LaCroix. Sorry. All right.
We're done.
Well, thanks, guys, for joining us, and we'll be back with more great things eventually.
See ya.